Welcome into episode 115 of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready. That is Tyler Siskey here on this Tuesday afternoon. Hope everyone is doing well as the Major League Baseball postseason gets started today in Tampa with the first game. Tampa and I don't even know who Tampa's playing.
The Rangers.
The Rangers, Tampa and Texas. Game one of that wild card series, 4 MLB games today. We won't be talking about that, but it's on in one of the backgrounds. Jed Hoyer did his postseason press conference today in Chicago. I've watched that, mused over that. So, anyway, welcome into the show. How are you, Tyler?
Doing good. I got a little parlay going on today. I got a little money line parlay. I got the Tampa Bay Rays money line. They're both favorites, Tampa Bay and Philly tonight.
Okay.
Got Wheeler going. Got what's my guy at Tampa Bay? God, I always mispronounce his name. Glasnow.
Oh, is he? He's going game one.
He's going to game one, so I love him. So Tampa Bay at home. It's like what was it? I think like $20 paid 70 something. I think.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty good. Take it. I'll take it.
Brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. Please check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more.
Neal, as you can see over here, I am rocking the Rain Storm Peach Nectarine. And you are used to this by now. It is a Chilton County peach in a can. Not to be confused with the Louisiana peaches or
a Lincoln Parish peach.
The Lincoln Parish peach or the Georgia peach. It is a Chilton County peach in a can. The Cooper Chevrolet chat is already bumping today, Neal. And just to remind everyone out there that to check out East Alabama's largest selection of new Chevy, Buick, and quality pre-owned today at Cooper Chevrolet, Buick, and Anniston, or shop online at cooperchevrolet.com. I did not get in touch with Greg today. He's supposed to send me the new stuff. Hopefully I'll have that by Thursday. They got the new deals, October deals, and new models and all that stuff coming out. And then also, and I noticed that my man Cole is on the money today. He's already put it in the link since YouTube doesn't like us linking, so they kick us off.
Yep.
But Bushnell is known for quality optics for over 70 years in the hunting, shooting, and tactical categories. They sell a variety of optics products ranging from rifle scopes, spotting scopes, and, of course, binoculars, all the way to laser rangefinders and speed guns. And, you know, it's the starting of hunting season's coming around. Bambi's running around in the woods. Need your new scope for your rifle. Go to our social media, McCready and Siskey on Twitter or X or whatever you would like to call it. My man Cole has the link. You click on that link. It'll take you right to Bushnell. Get you some good deals. Get your scopes dialed in for Bambi. And have you a nice little deer sausage in your stew. What do you think about that?
Okay.
I'm in one of those moods today.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Well, let's see how we get through this first 45 minutes or not.
All right, so you wanted to touch on this
we'll
Seahawks
start out
Giants game.
Monday night.
I didn't watch a single play. I don't think I missed anything.
You had to bet on it to watch it.
Okay.
You know, I may need to change my title to Mr. Monday Night Football, as my man Blake Pierce says in the Cooper Chevrolet chat. Neal, last night I took the Seattle Seahawks -1.5, and it got up to 2.5 at some books. It didn't matter, Neal, because I am now in Monday and Thursday night games on this show. I need to just start picking these games and stop for our contest and just deal with it. I am 9-0-1 to start the NFL season on Monday and Thursday nights. 9-0-1.
That's good.
That's pretty salty. I pushed
pretty strong.
I pushed a 3-point line 2 weeks ago. But yeah, 9-0-1. I had a backdoor McCready to give me the push, so I'll take it. 9-0-1. Big story out of this deal is, dude, I have never seen an NFL quarterback get hit like Daniel Jones got hit in that game last night. I was looking up the stats, how many times he actually got pressured and hit. They didn't have him posted yet. But he got sacked 10 times. They had another sack on a lateral that they were trying to double pass or whatever. Did you get sacked 10 times in an NFL game? He's already been sacked 7 times in a game earlier. He is currently on pace to be sacked more than any quarterback in the history of the National Football League.
They're horrible.
I mean, dude, it's bad, man.
They're bad.
It's bad. And they got exposed last night. And look, Seattle didn't play great.
If I'm Saquon, I'm taking my time getting back.
I don't know, man.
I take my time getting back. I'm a free agent. I can pick somewhere else to go.
I don't know, man. It's wild, but yeah, that was the story. They got to figure something out. I wish Saquon would come back selfishly because I have him in my fantasy team, but I'm doing okay because I had Kenneth Walker in my team. He had a good night last night, but Seattle didn't actually play all that great. They were just it was more of the Giants playing bad, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, and I watched the Manning cast. That's all I watch now. Eli was having a tough time last night.
Yeah, he has to be careful with that because he's Mr. Giants and he's employed by the Giants, and I'm sure he's doesn't enjoy watching the franchise that he was such a part of go into the absolute tank, but that's where they are.
Yeah, Triple Mask brings up something in the Cooper Chevrolet chat. He said, talking about Witherspoon had a pick six. Daniel, they ran a red zone whip route concept, and he was like seeing ghost, man. He just got rid of that ball as fast as he could and threw it behind. Was was seeing ghost and really got rid of it too quick. And anyway, it caused a pick six and kind of salted the game.
Are a couple of these college games really on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Damn it. 2 of those were going to be on my sheet. Both of those Wednesday games were going to be on my Thursday sheet.
Really?
Yeah.
Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to make it a?
No.
We can put them on there if you want to.
No. We'll stick with what we've been doing. I can find other ones. I've already started kind of working on it.
I'll be more than welcome. I mean, we'll talk about them. You're more than welcome to put them on your sheet if you want to.
No, neither game is worth spending a lot of time on. There's some big SEC games people want us to talk about. We need to get to that here pretty soon. That's what they're here for. They're here to hear about what could be a really big weekend in the SEC.
Yep. Other news before we get there. Did you see Jeremy McClain?
I did not.
All right, so Jeremy McClain, the Southern Miss AD.
You've probably figured this out by now, but in football season,
you're locked in.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't see anything really outside of my world. It's kind of just work.
All right, I'm going to read this to you, boss. I think you'll find this. And Barrett Sally puts out the tweet. Okay. This is Southern Miss AD Jeremy McClain released a message today on the athletic department as a whole. The football program was mentioned. Unfortunately, and I quote, unfortunately, football season has started much slower than many of us had hoped. And I know there is frustration for our fans, our staff, and our student athletes. The importance of being successful in football is not lost on me or anyone associated with the university. So we will continue to work to get it right. In the meantime, I want to say thank you for those who have continued to show support, even when it isn't easy.
Ooh.
Coach, we're at the quarter pole, man.
It's the first week of October.
We just got out of September. He's in his 3rd year.
So here's my thing. It's in about Will. I remember back in the day I was covering Ole Miss, 2011. It's Houston Nutt's 4th season. And they were playing at Vanderbilt. I think the final score was 30-7, but at one point it was 30-0. And I was down on the field with 30-0 as Ole Miss was frantically trying to score. And I asked the athletics director, Pete Boone, for his thoughts. And I figured,
what did you think you were going to get?
Well, I figured he would be like, I can't say anything. I don't want to do that. And I would have been able to say, well, at least I asked, because I knew the message board was going to be like, we want blood.
Yeah.
We want blood. And I'll be able to say, hey, look, I asked, right?
Covered your bases.
Sometimes in journalism, you ask a question knowing you're going to get a no comment so that you can say, hey, I asked and they said no comment. That way people can go, well, you didn't do your job. Yeah, I did. I can't put a gun to his head and say, talk, bitch.
Wouldn't that be? Hey, wouldn't your job be a lot easier?
Yeah, be a lot easier. If I say, hey, can I get an update on an injury? We don't talk about injuries. Hey, look, some bitch. All right, start talking. But anyway, he said,
that's a press conference I want to tune into.
Yeah, me too. Yesterday, I went to a press conference where someone said, on behalf of the former players, we'd like to thank you. And I was just like, I'm out. I'm checked out.
Quit.
No, it happened. And mentally, I'm just like, I'm done.
Who was the former player?
It doesn't matter. Harry Harrison. That's who it was. I didn't make it up. He did it. I just was like, man, what? Okay. Anyway, Boone at the time said it's unacceptable. And I was like, oh. And like a week later, he holds a press conference with nuts sitting in the room talking about how the program, this, that, and the other. And I wrote a column immediately saying Pete Boone should be fired. You can't. If you're going to publicly come out and castrate your football coach, just fire him. And in this case, you just did that to Will Hall.
In September.
You just did it to Will Hall in September. Now, when Will Hall's recruiting a player and he's recruiting against, I don't know, fill in the blank, Louisiana Tech, the coach at Louisiana Tech is going to go, hey, did you see this? Because what you like about Southern Miss is Coach Hall, and he's not going to be there any longer. Look at this. I mean, if you're going to come out and say that, it's over. That's why I've gotten a lot of questions this week because the team I cover, Ole Miss, is about to play Arkansas, and people are like, well, what's Arkansas going to do with Sam Pittman? And the one thing I have said is, A, I don't know, and B, if you get to a place where, well, next year's really damned important, then go ahead and do it. There's no point in dancing that dance.
Yeah.
There's no point in tiptoeing. I was watching the Cubs today. Jed Hoyer was asked about, next year. How important is next year? And he gave the right answer, which was, well, I mean, every year's important. Yeah, next year's important for David Ross. Next year's important for me. Next year's important. We have to show progress. But if he had said, well, yeah, I mean, look, we were disappointed, didn't make the playoffs, and next year's really big for David Ross. Okay, well then now when next year starts with the 4-game losing streak, that's the first thing that gets discussed in the locker room. If you're going to talk about imminence, go ahead and do it. Knock it out. You're better off firing somebody too early than firing them too late. And so this guy might as well go ahead and fire Will Hall because he just did it publicly. He just axed him. Will's not recovering from that. He's not going to be able to recruit against that, barring some massive winning streak. And so you went ahead and did it. It's stupid. But again, I say this about athletics all the time. It's going to piss off a lot of people. There's a lot of really smart people in athletics, and there's a lot of idiots in athletics. And just because someone is an AD doesn't mean they're smart. It means they knew how to kiss the right ass just right at the right time, and they moved up, and they knew somebody, and daddy knew somebody or whatever, and they moved up the chain. It doesn't mean they're smart. And this was stupid. And that person, after he gets through firing Will Hall, should go jump in traffic.
All right, so had the COVID year, or he had 2021, whatever it is. He's been there the same time that Kane has been at South. Okay,
yeah,
they went 7-6, whatever it was last year. Mm-hmm. Okay,
at a tough place, man.
All right, they're one.
Come on, it's a tough place.
I think what are they? They're 1-4. Okay, and they've played Florida State. They've played Tulane. They won a game, and they lost to Texas State and
Arkansas State.
Yeah. Okay. By 7 and by 10 or
whatever.
Right?
I mean, it's tough. The Arkansas State loss is a bad loss. It is. But
that's
come
what
on.
I'm saying. It's like, how many of those are bad? Like, Texas State is beating people. Okay.
Yeah. Florida State, come on.
Right.
You're not beating Florida State. Yeah. Tulane's really good. Yeah. What are you doing? I mean, it's idiotic, man. It's dumb.
And who is going to, and here's my point, is Will Hall is doing a really good job recruiting.
Well, he was.
Exactly. You just handicapped his strength.
No, you didn't handicap his strength.
You
castrated him.
Castrated. I was going to say neutered, but you got me with the castration.
You just chopped him. It's over. He's done.
I don't understand. This is my big beef, right? Is there was this transition about 20 years ago, a little longer than 20 years ago now, where people in the coaching profession stopped becoming the ADs, and it became people who had no relation to athletics beyond raising money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in their world, they care more about making the booster happy than doing what it takes to win.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so this is like the move. Who was it a couple years ago when Greg Schiano took the Tennessee job and they leak it to, like, you're leaking things to media, get the fans' opinion. Who gives a shit? It's your job to hire the guy. Okay, go hire the guy.
If you think he's the guy,
if you think that's your job,
hire him. Go hire him.
It's your job,
right?
I don't understand that. I don't understand the amount of hires that take place in college football strictly to win the press conference. Not about winning games,
right?
About winning the press conference.
100%.
Okay, and somebody has to say. I mean, granted. At the end of the day, if my guy's not, if I want to hire somebody that's going to win football games, and I know he's going to win football games,
mm-hmm.
who gives a shit if his Twitter fingers work or not?
Oh, of course. 100%.
It's about, hey,
100%.
there was this guy at Ruston, Louisiana, that told me one time, he said, you know what? This is a scoreboard business.
100%.
Okay? So make it about the scoreboard. And instead of trying to satisfy your freaking whiny ass fans, how about helping your damn coach win some fucking football games?
There's no doubt.
How about giving him some resources? How's that NIL program working?
Yeah.
How about you want to win games? Go raise some money for NIL. Because look, I got news. And if you're a Southern Miss fan, I apologize. You're not getting
If you're a Southern Miss
any
fan,
better than Will Hall.
You should demand the AD be resigned today.
So you're telling me that the guy who's won every single place he's ever coached, ever, at every level.
Let's be real for a minute.
At two shitty places, by the way.
Let's be real for a minute. Southern Miss is a bad job.
Well,
okay,
that's why Will's perfect, because Will was at West Alabama, Livingston. You've been there, you know where that, and he was at West Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay, he's won at places that's very familiar. That's a perfect
Southern
fit.
Miss is a bad job. The league is good. I mean, James Madison is good. Troy is good. South Alabama is good. Marshall's good. That coach at Marshall's a kick-ass coach, and they've won at Marshall before. Appalachian State is good. I'm sure I'm leaving people out that are good in that league. Southern Miss that's tough, and I've been to Southern Miss. It's fine. Hattiesburg it's all right. The stadium's fine. Their facilities are fine. The campus is nice, but that's not like, other than Brett Favre, it's not like some tradition-laden thing. Not that tradition even matters anymore. It doesn't matter. They don't have a bunch of money for NIL. You're in a small state that has 2 SEC schools in it. You're not terribly far from LSU.
Well, you're covered by South Alabama in the
Troy,
recruiting area.
South Alabama,
all the
Louisiana schools. I mean, that's a hard job, and you're gonna cut him at 1-4
in year 3.
I mean,
after playing Florida State and Tulane,
to hire who?
That's my point. Is what we're castrating the guy after September in year 3, and it's not getting any better than that. The guy's from the state. He does the right things. He's competitive. Literally, they're missing a quarterback, man.
You might as well start talking about him in past tense, because
it's terrible.
It's anyway. Yeah, I mean, I hate that for Will, but hey, look again.
And he's a good person.
Oh, I like Will, I like Will a lot. But there's a lot of people.
Terrible.
There's a lot of people in athletics who are they're just not. They don't understand. There's so much of this. They don't understand what happens when you put something like that in the media.
They have no idea.
Well, but they should.
That's the problem, right?
It's idiotic.
Repeat that again, because that's the problem.
But it's stubborn.
That's the problem.
It's stubborn.
You can't
tell
be
people,
that guy.
I always say this. Every athletics program should have a person in the room whose only job is to sit back in the back and just listen when things are being talked about, and then have the ability to go, hey, just FYI, it's a bad idea. I get that you think it's a good idea. It's not. It's a bad idea, because it's one of those things that on paper, we're gonna show the people that we care. No, you're killing your coach while you're at it. So if that's what you want to do, if you want to say, hey, this is not satisfactory and we're going to fire him, cool. Hey, look, he's got a contract. And if you 5 games into year 3 go, this doesn't work, fire him. Cool. I have no problem with that. You probably would, but I'd be like, nope. Hey, you've decided to fire him. Pay off the rest of his contract, bring somebody else in and figure it out. But what they're doing is stupid. All right. Trent Dilfer went after his coaches.
Did you see this video?
I saw him yell at a coach. He kind of lost his mind.
He lost his mind, and he went out and he apologized yesterday. But the reaction on social media about, I can't believe he would do this. Look, that happens on every headset in America. Now, does it go to that extravagant deal to where you're actually pointing at coaches? Probably not. That's probably where he admittedly crossed the line. But look, he's a passionate guy. I don't know Trent personally. Have had a couple conversations with him, but we're not friends or anything like that. I like the guy. I respect the hell out of him. Doing it the right way. And look, he's passionate about what he's doing, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have a problem with what he did. I think the social media hype was a little extra.
Let's get into this weekend's college games.
Hey, I got to go this next one.
All right, let's do it quick though, because we're not giving people what they want.
All right. Georgia high school high schools voted to move all private schools and public schools to separate in the playoffs. And this goes to the whole deal of, got me a little set off with it the other day, is participation trophies. I'm totally against this stuff. And if this was 20 years ago where only private schools were the ones recruiting, I see it. But the public schools are recruiting worse than the private schools, and it's not even remotely close. And it's insane. And so here's where you're going to love this part. I got this part in here for you. Also in that same vote, in that same piece of legislation, and they kind of snuck it in there, they also voted 66-9 to allow high school kids in the state of Georgia to receive NIL. Now,
okay,
here's where you're just going to roll your eyes and go, come on, man. It can't be contingent on specific athletic performance or achievement.
Okay.
Good luck, like congratulations. And you can't provide incentive to enroll or remain enrolled at a specific school. Like, what in the hell do you think is going to happen?
Well, of course that's what's going to happen, but they're having to put those rules in us. I don't know. Look, you know me on the NIL thing. I don't know why we call it that. I hate that. I hate the word. I hate those. It's never name, image, and likeness. It's pay for play. It's occasionally name, image, and likeness, but it's pay for play, and I'm cool with pay for play. It's fine. Just call it that. So if you want to drop that all the way down to the high school level and pay kids to play, cool, whatever.
And just like you predicted, when we talked about California doing this, Calabasas wide receiver, he's a top 100 player in the country, and his Colorado commit, after 4 weeks, decides to shut it down and opt out of his senior year of football so he can get ready to enroll early in Colorado.
Oh, it's inevitable. You're going to start seeing top seniors all over the country not play their senior year.
This will not be the last one.
Oh, no.
This is fixing to become a pandemic.
Oh, you're going to see top seniors all over the country not play.
Such a bad idea. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen kids, like when you get offered as a junior, I cannot tell you, you and I have had conversations about this privately, how many kids go the other direction because they get fat and happy and they forget what got them there. You just because you get offered or you commit somewhere doesn't mean your development is up. You're going to miss a whole year, a key year of development and getting reps, and you're not going to be the guy when you show up if you sit out your senior year. Well, you're just not.
And on top of that, right, so much of high school football is supposed to be about having fun. That was your fun year. Your senior year is always more fun than your freshman year, your sophomore year when you're getting beat up. Your senior year is the year that you get to be the guy that does the beating. Typically, that's the fun year. That's the year that you get one last year with all your friends.
But as soon as these states do the NIL deal, that's coming, by the way. All right, Neal, do you know what time it is? It's week 6. Yes. It's college football week.
It's a big week.
Here we go, baby.
It's a big week. I got a funny feeling about this week, and it might just end up being I ate a couple of wrong pork rinds. I don't know.
Did you eat pork rinds today?
We get these pork rinds from it's called Brooks Grocery.
Okay.
In Tupelo.
All right.
Carson plays soccer in Tupelo. And so very frequently on Tuesday nights, I've got 2.5 hours to kill in Tupelo. And you can only walk around the track so many times. And I'll go to Brooks.
You wear a pedometer, like a step thing?
I have a...
How many steps do you get on the practice?
15,000, 16,000.
No shit.
Yeah.
Do you run too the same day?
I'll run. Yeah, I'll run same.
So what's the most steps? Like if you run the day that you walk, how many steps you get now?
26, 27,000.
Yes, that's insane. You wonder why your knee bothers you.
Yeah.
We call that chronic fatigue.
When I extend it, it goes pop, 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 pop. Anyway, they have some really good pork rinds. Pork rinds are when you're trying to watch your weight, that's the best snack.
I find that hilarious though. You're eating fried fat for a snack when you're trying to watch your weight. There's something kind of off about that.
It's probably off that at 4:00 in the afternoon. Like, what have you had today? 3 pork rinds,
3 fried fats. For my diet.
Yeah, that's what I've had. Anyway,
sorry.
Where was I going with that? It might be that, but I just have this funny feeling this is going to be a weird weekend in the league.
Well, we're going to start this bad boy off.
There's three games in the league that to me have a weird feeling to them.
We're going to start this bad boy off. We're going by TV times here. LSU is favored by 6.5, going to Como, Missouri, to play the Missouri Tigers. And I didn't know if you knew this. This is a tough trip. Contrary to popular belief, it's one of the most difficult places to play in the league.
This is a bad spot on LSU's schedule. And it's a really good spot on Missouri's schedule because they've been focused on this game for a couple weeks now. They had Memphis, they had Vanderbilt, and they handled business. They've had an eye on this game for a while now. And biggest game's been played there in a long time.
Yes, probably since Georgia last year, but they were kind of out.
Yeah,
of
but
it
they
anyway.
were.
They
Yeah,
wasn't 5-0.
No. Yeah, I mean, the Georgia game ended up looking like a big game because it was Georgia there, and they played it into the fourth quarter. But the people that walked into the stadium that day expected to see their Tigers get beat. These people are walking into the stadium expecting to see their Tigers win, and they've played pretty well. Burden's been really good. You look at some of what's a bad offensive team, Arkansas, rolled up and down the field against LSU. A really good offensive team, Ole Miss, put up 700 and
could have put up 1,000 if they
707 yards or something like that. 700 plus yards. A lot. Plenty of yards.
As much as you can do.
About as many yards as you can gain in a game. And Missouri's pretty good on offense. They're somewhere between Arkansas and Ole Miss.
So you're saying they're going to score about 40-something points?
I think they think they can.
Oh, sure they do.
And so you
cannot watch that tape from last week. Look, it's hard to watch, man.
All they have to do is hold LSU in the 30s, and I think they can win the game if they can hold LSU into the 30s. And Tyler, I think they can.
You think they can hold LSU on offense in the 30s?
I do.
Because I don't.
I do. Absolutely do.
I don't. I'm just not. I think LSU is going to score.
Well, yeah.
I think, all kidding aside, I think LSU and Ole Miss are very similar teams to where they can score, but they struggle stopping people. But with what LSU did on defense, like they just stayed in the same thing. They didn't pass off cover. Like, dude, I guarantee you, Eli Drinkwitz is just like slobbering over this matchup, thinking about every drag route in America that you can run. Like, do you know how many pick plays can be ran against that defense? They're just going. I mean, they may have 47 pick plays drawn up Saturday. There's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. What's the total? You haven't called up in front of you by any chance?
Yeah.
I know it's 6.5. LSU's favored by 6.5. What's the
63.5.
I think that goes way over. Because you're saying it's 60. Because I think Missouri's going to score, and somebody in the Cooper Chevrolet chat a minute ago, I apologize who said it, but Burton's going to go wild. I mean,
so my guy Parker Fleming at Stats of War with CFB Graphs, you can catch his podcast on U.S. Bets Tuesdays and Wednesdays at noon. His computers have LSU scoring 31 points and Missouri scoring 29.7 points. His computers give LSU a 53.53% chance of winning the game. This is coin toss-ish.
Yeah.
And then you throw in the human part, which is LSU's coming off of an emotional loss in a game that was the end for their national championship hopes. Done. Not making the playoff.
All right, let me ask you a question, serious question. Let's say LSU, this was what I was getting at. Let's just, the football gods
for
came
kicks
down.
and giggles and say they win the SEC.
They went out and win the SEC. They're
still have 2 losses.
They're 11-2 SEC champ.
In a 4-game playoff this year, I don't think they get in.
That would obviously mean that no SEC team gets in.
That's what it would mean.
All right, second question here to follow that one up. Let's say it's LSU runs the table.
Mm-hmm.
They go 11-2.
Okay.
They get to the SEC championship game and win.
Okay.
And they beat a 12-0 Georgia team
to
make Georgia 12-1. That means nobody's going.
That's what I think.
They can't put Georgia in.
I wouldn't think.
That just lost.
Because Georgia's best wins would be Kentucky, Ole Miss, and Tennessee in that scenario. No, I don't think they'd get in. I mean, barring what happens, depending on what happens with the Big Ten, one of those teams goes undefeated, they're in. Your ACC champ probably going to get in. They're going to go champs. Anyway, I think this is a competitive. I think there's a lot of people that just go look at the uniforms and go, "Oh, LSU."
Yeah, I think there's going to be points scored in this game. All right, next game in the SEC, Western Michigan, Quick U Client. This is Quick U versus Quick U. Western Michigan coming down to Starkville to play Mississippi State. This game's going to come down to athletes. Western Michigan's not bad now. They will play you.
I will tell you that I love this line. 20.5 points. Give me 20.5 points all day long.
It's just, look, Tulu's going to have a day. It's just going to be a matter of, because nobody can run with him on that side. It's just a matter of, can they find him to score enough points? If Mississippi State covers this line, Tulu scores 3 times. Like, he's faster, like, significantly than anybody they have. So they will have to take advantage of that stuff, similar to what they ended up doing, really what they did to South Carolina, how they scored. All right. First big one. I guess second big one.
Second big one. But this is the big one.
The Alabama Crimson Tide are 2.5-point favorites traveling to College Station, Texas. Where you at, Neal? What you thinking? I got so many thoughts.
My thought, honestly, is that Texas A&M is going to win the game. That's what I think. I think
Just
Texas
because, or
nope. I think Texas A&M's defensive front is going to be so disruptive that they're going to be able to limit Alabama's running game. They're going to be able to force Milroe to make some mistakes, and he will make mistakes. And then I just think offensively, give them credit. They had 2 good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And Jimbo has left them alone, and Petrino's coaching offense, and you can tell it. Their offensive play calling is creative.
He's good, dude.
Anaya Smith has been a weapon in special teams. He returned one, I think it was a punt last week for a touchdown. It's a huge game there. They know it. They're not running from it. They're not scared of Alabama. They beat Alabama 2 years ago, almost beat them last year. I think A&M wins, and we wake up on Sunday going, man, this SEC West is wild. That's what I anticipate.
I think goes down to matchups, right? I do not think Alabama can I think this is a low-scoring game. The total's at 46. I'm looking at that total going under 46.
Alabama has not been great on first or second down this year. First and second down, they haven't been great. Texas A&M defensively has been pretty solid.
Because people run the ball on first and second down. They're good in the front 7.
And so you get Alabama into 3rd and long.
Yeah, you just cut them loose.
Texas A&M is 2nd in the country defending 3rd and long.
Do you know why that is, Neal? Because they can bring pressure with their downs. They don't have to blitz.
Exactly.
And they can play coverage.
And then, when they do bring blitz, they bring blitz with dudes who have real speed off the edge.
I don't know where I'm going. If I had to lean on this game, I'd probably lean towards the under. I think it's a low-scoring game. Alabama kind of surprised me a little bit last week. They're starting to try to find some kind of identity on offense.
No, they started looking like Alabama.
And, we've said it in the office a couple times. When you look at Alabama and you look at Georgia this year, it reminds you of like 2009 Alabama. You know what I mean? Like they are run-first, defensive-oriented teams. I think A&M's going to have a tough time moving the ball. I think it's a low-scoring game. I'm leaning under. It's definitely in my pool for
over-under's 48.5.
It's at 48. I thought it was at 46. Good.
48.5.
Yeah, I don't think that's even going to get approached. I'm probably going to lean Alabama to win this one somehow, but I'm not going to be surprised either way. I'm just going to stay away from the line and probably mess with the total on this one. But you're right. If Alabama wakes up and they've lost, you wake up and you're like, holy smokes, that puts you at what? That puts you at Texas A&M, complete control of their own destiny.
A&M would be the one that controlled its own destiny.
And then you're going to be in a situation. This is where it's going to get
You'd
interesting.
be tied with Ole Miss with 1 loss.
No, they haven't lost yet.
Yeah, they have. Ole Miss has lost in the league. They lost at Alabama.
I'm talking about Texas A&M would have no losses.
Oh, no. Yeah, A&M would control their own.
Yeah, they would control their own.
They would control their own destiny.
I don't think they will win them all. I think they'll lose a game. But what if you have a 4-way tie, right? Okay, let's say you have a 4-way tie.
Okay.
All right, everybody has 1 loss.
I don't think at the end of the day they could get to 4-way because A&M still got to play LSU and Ole Miss.
Yeah, let's say they lose one of them.
Okay.
All right, everybody loses one time.
All right.
Sure. No, you can't because LSU's got to play.
It's not really possible.
But I think you're going to end up in a situation where these non-conference games, because the way they determine whoever gets in the championship game is going to be about overall, like rank or whatever, highest ranked team in the CFP. Well, you're going to have the teams that went through their non-conference without a loss are going to be ranked ahead of ones that lose to Miami or lose to Texas and things like that. That's the advantage you got if you haven't lost two non-conference games. And Ole Miss is the only one that hasn't lost one. All right.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt at Florida. Any interest in this game at all?
Zero. None at all.
The only thing I was looking at, that total seems high. Can Florida score 18 points? Does Vanderbilt have to score one touchdown to cover? It's 18 and a half.
Yeah, they'll roll past that number. The over under on this is 52.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think Vanderbilt's going to score some points. I mean,
The over under is 52 in this game.
Yep.
Right. I mean, a little note right there for Make It Rain Thursday. Holy smokes, 52. That's a lot.
Florida's 18-point favorite at home against Vanderbilt. No interest at all.
Yeah, me either. Now, a game that I am extremely interested in, the Kentucky.
Yes.
Big Blue Nation Wildcats are going to Athens, Georgia to take on the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia is favored by 14 and a half.
What time's this game?
I got it in order of time, so it's got to be 2:30, I'm guessing. No.
It's 6, isn't it?
6. It's the 6 o'clock window, I believe.
Yeah, there it is.
6.
Over under on this is 48 and a half. Georgia is favored by 14 and a half. I'll just tell you.
This is on my sheet.
This is probably going to be on my sheet. And if it is, it's going to be because I'm taking Kentucky and the points.
I am probably as well. Look, Georgia, I think Georgia wins the game. I do. They're at home. They'll find a way. They always do. I just don't think it's going to be that hook. That's a big hook.
Yeah.
That's a big hook. 14 and a half. I can see this being a 10 or 14-point game, though. I can see it being a 2-score game. I don't see it being a 3-score game.
And Kirby's been down this road enough to know he doesn't need style points. He just needs W's.
Yep.
He doesn't really have a team to roll up style points. He just needs W's. And so I could see them getting a 10 to 13-point lead and milking it.
Yep.
And just hanging on.
Look, if Auburn can find a way to score 20 points, Kentucky can too.
Well, look, we talked about this with Jeff yesterday. If Kentucky rolls past about 27,
oh yeah, they have a chance to win the game.
This thing gets weird.
I think it takes 27 to win the game. How about that?
I agree. The computers agree with that.
I think 27 is the number they got to get to win the game.
But I think this is. I think Kentucky covers. I really do. I would do that before I bet Georgia laying those points.
Yeah, that's a big hook, dude. It's almost trappy. All right.
Yeah, like people do that, and I get this. I get where people are on this, where they go, well, Kentucky had me convinced they were good last season, then they lost to Vandy. I get it. I'm telling you, man, more and more, last season just doesn't matter on this season. The teams are too different. Kentucky didn't have Davis last year.
Nope.
They didn't have that kind of back last year. They're better up front this year.
They call better plays.
The play calling's better. It's a totally different coordinator. The whole deal's different. I mean, I just think I get it. We're conditioned to do that. Like, I'm not making fun of the poster here because I do the same thing until you stop and hey, these things don't matter. What happened last year, it's never mattered less.
Oh, 100%. I mean, your players don't even, I don't know, it's just weird. All right, Neal, here in Oxford, Mississippi, the Arkansas Razorbacks, coming off 3 losses, are coming to Oxford to play Ole Miss. Ole Miss is an 11-point favorite at home. What's the total in this one?
I'm pulling it up right now. Saturday evening. Here we go. Dang it. Let's see. It's Colorado, ULM, Iowa. There's Ole Miss. The over under. Is that right?
You got to put the glasses on for that one?
62 and a half.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be high.
62 and a half. It's a
close.
little high.
Do you think Arkansas is going to struggle to score? That's your question.
What does that mean? Give me a number.
I think I'm feeling like a 44-30 game.
Oh, yeah. I don't think if Arkansas scores 30, this thing is going way over. I don't think Arkansas is getting to 30. I think they get low 20s. I don't even think they get to the mid 20s. I mean, I think Arkansas scores somewhere between 20 and 23 points.
Okay.
So if you talk about over under, does Ole Miss get to 42?
Yes.
Probably. Here's the one thing about Ole Miss that you probably have to factor in. That they've been through 2 super emotional weeks in a row. Ole Miss is winning the game. This is not going to be a competitive game. But if you told me Ole Miss started with a sputter this week because they're humans, and after Alabama and all the emotion, and LSU and all the emotion, and then the win, the way that game got won, and they spent Sunday celebrating it, then you show up and you're like, okay, let's play this team that's just gotten skull-drugged by Texas A&M, this team that lost to BYU. I just – and again, the last year thing, like no one's going to do the whole, I remember last year. Half the team's new. They weren't there last year. So if you told me they were a little sluggish out of the gate and the game looked a little more competitive than it actually was for 2.5 quarters, I'd buy it. And if you told me that Ole Miss didn't get past like 38-41, I'd buy that too, just for that reason, where you sputter for a quarter.
Do you think, besides the fact that they've lost 3 games in a row, I'm asking you since you're such an Arkansas insider.
Yes. You want to know about the Kyo chapter at Arkansas? I'll tell you all about it. What do you want to know?
What did they have for dinner this morning? Do you think, this is a serious question I want to ask you. Do you think the fact that this series, and it's usually the home team, by the way, but this series has been so weird is probably an understatement for the last, 7-8 years probably?
It's had a couple of games that were dramatic, but are we going to say the LSU Ole Miss series is weird? They've had some drama.
No, I'm saying, hear me out though.
Yeah, I know. Everybody does this. And like I did this thing with.
No, I'm going a different direction.
Okay, go ahead.
This is different direction. Since it's been so weird and the fans perceive it to be that way over reality,
right?
Because of so many new players,
right? Do
you think winning this game or losing this game puts more pressure on Pittman's job security at Arkansas because of they've dominated, they've had these high shoot, you know what I'm saying? Like
here's Pittman's
performance.
Here's Pittman's problem moving forward. And he's kind of like what I was talking about a minute ago when we were talking about Hall. If you get to a place where you're like, hey, look, next year's make or break, you're better off just pulling the plug. Because you're setting up a recruiting cycle where you're going to get beat in recruiting. Because players are going to say, well, I'm down to 2 schools, Arkansas and School X. Like both, blah, blah, blah. What do you like about them? Well, I like the coaches, which is typically where decisions are made. Then the other place goes, he might not be there by the end of your freshman year. We're here. And all of a sudden you lose a handful of those guys, and now whoever's replacing him in the next year is even further in a hole. So here's his problem. He's 2-3. He's going to be 2-4 after Saturday. He's going to be 2-5 after next Saturday. Then he's got an open date, which will be good for his team getting well and stuff like that. It's going to be really bad for the media. He's going to take a media beating for 2 weeks. And then he comes back and he gets Mississippi State at home. I don't know the exact schedule. It's Mississippi State.
He's got to play Auburn at some point in time.
Okay, it's Mississippi State, then Auburn, then I think FIU.
He's got to play. He's already played LSU.
He's got to go Missouri. So say he loses to Mississippi State at 2-6.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're staring a disaster in the face, and then the next part. Auburn comes to town, and that's a 72,000 seat stadium. You've got 40,000 people in it. And then the decisions start getting made. Fans ultimately make these decisions. Fans make the decisions. I mean, if the fans don't show up, the people look at the stadium and go, boy, we're going to run this risk for another year? We're going to run this risk for another year? You're up there in that area. You got a booming area for people who've not been up there. Go to Fayetteville on 49 and then just drive north. Go through Springdale and Rogers and Bentonville. And now it's even past Bentonville. It's a population center. So when you can't fill it up, I think there's like 580,000 people up there. You can't fill it up. You got problems. And so you're investing all this money into a program, and you're an SEC school, and you can't fill up a stadium. You got to go, well, what are we doing? Maybe it's time to – and once you get to that place, that's his problem. His problem is not – it's not that it's Ole Miss or that it's a series, or it's just you can't lose to Liberty one year and then lose to BYU the next when you play in the SEC.
That's what I was getting at, is this with the schedule they have coming, especially next week, okay? Well, if they drop this one, they're dropping next week. So
they're dropping it next week no matter what, yeah.
So from motivation is not the right word, but a sense of urgency, whatever it is, to get whatever fixed or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then you got the whole KJ's coming to Oxford. Mm-hmm. You know, there's, and then you got the Ole Miss. As Ole Miss come out emotional, all that stuff. This is I agree 270,000% that Ole Miss should win this game. But this has got a recipe. 11 could be a big number. This could be a 7-point game. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I don't think so.
You think it's a big number?
I think it's minimum. I'd lay 20.
Wow. Well, if you lay 20 and it hits, that's probably going to be all she wrote, because I think they need to look competitive for him to survive.
I don't know what the NIL situation is up there. I don't. I know that Musselman in basketball has created he is sort of the Lane Kiffin of basketball right now, really working the portal on a year-to-year basis, bringing in really good players. And I know one of the really big boosters up there from one of the big companies that's based out of there is all basketball. All their NIL goes to basketball. And so he's been able to build really good rosters, and he has. He's gone to 2 straight Elite Eights and then a Sweet 16 in the last 3 years. There's not many programs in the country that wouldn't take that. And then the baseball thing has a really good NIL. I don't know whether the football NIL is behind, or is it behind because they hired somebody when they hired Pittman. They hired somebody that a lot of the big boosters were like underwhelmed. And then the question, and you know there's 2 questions if you're the people at Arkansas or anywhere else when you're deciding to make a decision. There's 2 things you have to ask. Is it time? And who can we hire next? Because the moment, and I'm big on this, the moment, let's say you fire Sam Pittman,
you better know who's coming to the door.
If you fire him at 6:30 in the morning, at 6:31, it's not his fault anymore. So you got to figure it out. And you better make sure you know what you're doing, because you can't blame. You can do the blame the other guy all you want to. That's not going to win you any games.
And I'm being biased here, and he's not even my friend. So for all you assholes out there, Sam is not my friend. I do not know him. No common people, but we don't know each other. I really like the shit out of this guy. I think he's good for college football. I just hate that it's getting there.
Well, he's terrific with media.
I like the shit.
The people that cover him really like him.
I think he's good for players. I think he's good for the game.
It's tough.
Yeah, so
tough.
Shitty
hey,
business.
look, they haven't won there in football. I mean, go pull up their numbers. Since they joined the SEC, their numbers aren't that great. And outside of Houston Nutt had a nice run. And Petrino had a really good run before he got in trouble.
Petrino was at that point
to
where he was about to be the Alabama of the league until he decided to get on a motorcycle.
They were elite. They were getting it done. I mean, it was exciting for them.
Yeah.
But since then,
they were arguably the best team in the league. What was that? 11?
Well, it was the year
they won the Cotton Bowl.
The year that Alabama and LSU were so good, it overshadowed the fact that Arkansas might have been the 3rd best team in the country that year.
Correct. That's what
what hurt
I'm
them.
Talking about.
What hurt them was that the 2 teams better than them were both in the same division.
Yeah.
But it was like the AL East, you know, at that point. But they haven't been that good recently. They had the Chad Morris era, which was a disaster. Brett Bielema, for the most part, was a disaster. And now you've got Pittman, and it started okay, but it didn't. Last year was bad. You know, they went 6-6, went to the Liberty Bowl. Now they're probably staring 4-8, 5-7 in the face. And look, there's a couple of games at the end of that schedule. The FIU game, if things don't go well, FIU got execution written all over it.
Yeah, I don't think I'll get that far.
Just never know.
Never
know. Well, in today's deal, where you get
There is precedent in his
You
case.
get some older players. They start thinking about, hey, this didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. I need to look out for me.
Yeah, Dwight, thank you. He says, our resident troll says 12 is when Freeze beat them in Little Rock. Thank you. I was actually
11, whatever.
on that staff. I didn't know that. I was in the press box when the field goal went through. But thank you.
Was it 11 when they were as good?
It was 11 when they were good.
Yeah,
because it was 12. I was actually in the press box watching the field goal go through in Little Rock. Thank you. I didn't know I was there. All right. We'll come back to the Wednesday games at the end. I want to talk about Oklahoma and Texas. SEC matchup. Our boy Greg Sankey is going to be at the game making his SEC debut.
He should.
How about that?
He should.
Both
programs are on the upswing right now.
Man, I have, to me, 6 points is like the money line in this game. I think this goes way over.
Yeah, over under is 60 and a half.
It's not enough. It goes way over. I think both teams.
I think a lot of points.
I think both teams are scoring in this game. Geez, McChristmas, man. I wouldn't even know what to pick here. I really like Oklahoma. I like Texas. I like them both. Oklahoma's quick. You client rebuild. Brent Venables rebuild quick. You
doing a really good job.
Hey,
they're doing a really good job. Both of these programs are on the upswing as they get ready to enter the league.
And let me tell you something. Whenever Dylan Gabriel shuts it down, they got one in the wings. It's going to be the dude.
Yeah.
Arnold, it can freaking spin it, man.
Jackson Arnold. They're super excited.
Yes,
about
they
him.
are.
Yep.
He can do it, and Levy loves him. Man, this is the game of. I know it's not SEC, and I know we got Kentucky, Georgia, all that stuff. This is 11 o'clock, man. This game, I'm fired up to watch this game. This is going to be a really good game.
Jeff Levy's going to be on a couple of short lists.
Yeah. And everybody, hey, this is what I love about what we do now.
Potentially the one that we just got through talking about.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Didn't think about that. Oh.
They've got I'll say this. The one thing I've heard today from kind of getting ready for this game and doing the Q&A exchange and talking to people and setting up podcast interviews and stuff.
Don't do it.
Is there's a lot of talk about like Malzahn, and that's just old people doing the old stuff. The Malzahn ship has gone.
Well, you know why. His support
is up there.
Like that's where he coached high school football. Like,
well, it's not a criticism of Gus, but
there's a reason when he got the Arkansas State job. Okay, can I spill some tea here? There's a reason that when this was my favorite. Talking about athletic directors, you want to hear my favorite athletic director moment of all time? So Hugh took the job at Arkansas State when Coach Roberts got fired for $220,000. Okay. Let's just do some business here. So Hugh had already taken the job at Ole Miss, contrary to what's out there, and the AD at Arkansas State didn't know it, and he kept coming in there. The best offer that Arkansas State came back to a Hugh to keep him, like they were trying to renegotiate his contract, was $350,000. Okay, $350,000. Hugh Freeze takes his $1.5 million from Ole Miss plus $100,000 for every SEC win. That was the contract in 2012. All right, so what's that? 5 times 500% difference of money, right? Mm-hmm. There's a reason that 10 days later, they were able to miraculously pay Gus Malzahn $1 million a year. Now, I want you to think about that just for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that money come from? Came from the support.
The money tree?
The money tree that is known as Arkansas with Gus Malzahn because he had support. All right. And I would like to thank those people because as the resident Red Wolf, 7 years of my career there and my life, loved it. That move single-handedly forced Arkansas State to start paying coaches. I mean, dude, when I was there, we had to like sell peanut M&Ms and stuff to get footballs and stuff. We had the worst funding of any program ever. This is no joke. No joke. When we went there, they had chain link fences around the field. I mean, it was bad, but they've done a phenomenal job. Really spent since Terry Mahajer became the AD. Anyway, Oklahoma, Texas. What are you feeling on that game, though? Besides it being a good game,
I'm leaning Texas and laying the points. I think Texas is for real. Whenever they've needed to answer the bell this year, they've answered it.
I think they're two contrasting styles. I think Texas can do a better job of leaning on Oklahoma, but then I think Oklahoma can freaking strike back and score quick.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in this game. I think this is two contrasting styles. All right, Neal, another big game, national of interest that's near and dear to my heart, and apparently it's near and dear to your heart as of recently. I forgot to call them today, by the way.
Yeah, I need my jersey.
I forgot to call them.
Need a jersey.
Busy on the phone today. Our Maryland Terrapins are traveling to Columbus to take on Ohio State, and they're getting 19 and a half points.
Mm-hmm.
I think this line's actually moving up. Am I being a dumbass for thinking Maryland in the points here?
I mean, possibly, but I'm with you.
I mean, I'm not. I think Ohio State is really good on defense. I'm not sold on them on offense. Quarterback plays holding them back. I'm leaning. I don't know if this is 50-50, whether it's on my sheet for Friday, but if it's on my sheet for Friday, I'm leaning on taking Maryland in the points. They probably got to score 14 points to cover this line. I don't think Ohio State's – this isn't the old Ohio State with C.J. Stroud and the whole slew of quarterbacks that score 60 points in these games.
The computers really like Maryland to cover.
What do they got Maryland scoring? I need
25.
If they score 25, they're covering.
Of course.
It's not even going to be close. What do they got the Ohio State scoring, 35?
36.
Yeah. I'll be watching that game. Exciting. It'll be a good slate for that. And then with all of your Pac-12 love that you've been, since you're big on wearing mask and getting all of your shots up to date and your 64th booster, in the Pac-12, an interesting line has come out. I want to get your take on this.
All right.
Washington State Cougars,
mm-hmm.
one of the best teams in the Pac-12 this year, is traveling to UCLA, and they are getting 3.5 points.
Correct.
UCLA is favored by 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
That's got trap game written all over it, and I'm just going to donate my money to the Washington State money line. I think Washington State's a 14 to 17 point better team than UCLA.
Yeah, I'm not touching this game. Nowhere near my sheet.
I just think Washington State's a better team.
I think Washington State's better. Washington State has some real home road splits that frighten me a little bit and make me wonder a little bit. I'm not like I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't touch this game.
All right, I'm going to donate my money.
Okay.
I'll let you know how it works out for me on Sunday. Or you'll text me and say, "I told you, asshole."
No, I don't do that. I don't trash talk. No trash talk.
You made a mirror once in a while. All right, last game, Neal. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish are traveling to Louisville, and they're getting 6.5 points. I'm just going to let you know right now, this is going to be on the sheet probably, and it's not enough.
My only thing about Notre Dame that I worry a little bit about is they've now –
this would be 3 in a row.
They have now played 3 big – emotional games in a row. Now, they have a great quarterback. I think he's terrific. And when you look at them on paper, they don't have a lot of weaknesses. Really hardly any.
I was low-key impressed with their resilience.
Here's the deal. On paper, neither does Louisville. Big game in Louisville. 7 points. Might be too many. I mean, I think Notre Dame wins it, but look, Notre Dame was a play away from losing to Duke.
Yeah, a couple of times.
And
well, Duke hadn't done anything but beat the shit out of everybody, so
he's a guy. Now that's Elko. If I'm Mike Elko and I'm Mike Elko's agent, this is my year. I'm taking one of these big jobs. I'm striking while the iron is this hot because I don't know that you can ever get the iron to be this hot again. I'm striking right now. I'm getting the big money, getting the big deal in a power. I know
have to, right?
I know they're in a power 5, power 4. I'm getting in the power 2.
Yeah, he's got to, right? I mean,
because that's what's coming, whether you like it or not, whether we think it's the right thing or not. What's coming is once a school goes, hey, I don't know, that's it. Ball game. Go get somebody. Now you got to be willing to pay and you got to be willing to commit and all that stuff. and you got to do the buyouts and all that crazy stuff, or you can search for skeletons in the closet, find one, and just do what Trevor Bauer them.
Wow.
It's kind of what they did at Michigan State. It's kind of what they did at Michigan State. They fired the guy for having phone sex with a woman who was voluntarily having 40-minute conversations with him. I mean, I'm not saying he's not a creep, but that's all they had on him, and they got out of $70 million.
80.
$80 million.
Don't cut the man short $10 million. He's going to get every dime of that too. You watch. He's going to get every. They'll settle for 40.
Maybe.
Yeah, he's going to get paid.
But you see my point. I mean, if you want to get out of the contract bad enough,
who are you trying to get rid of?
Nobody. I'm just. If you don't win, though, you don't have much time. I think the days with the way it is now, if you don't, and you look at what like Deion's done at Colorado, all joker stuff aside, look at the TV numbers that Colorado's getting.
Dude, he is a master. He is a master promoter.
That game.
If it doesn't work out at Colorado, WWE would love to have him.
That game drew 300% more than Ole Miss LSU.
We could have a Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders, and Deion tag team cage match on SmackDown on Thursday night. And hey, it would sell. People would tune in.
So you have to decide as a program, what do you want? Do you want to be relevant? Do you want to be flashy? What is it you want to be? And if what you have isn't that, and you're not winning, you got to. Like, I'll give you an example. If I'm Illinois, I'm done. I'm boring.
We're going to call you the Grim Reaper. You're just firing everybody.
I'm being the Reaper today. I'm boring. I'm irrelevant. And I'm not winning. That's 3 strikes. Bye-bye.
Can you imagine you and I being ADs, co-ADs somewhere?
Your guy would be like, hey, I'm on year 14. And my guy would be like, I'm on week 14. We didn't even coach the game yet. No, I mean, I would be like, those are the 3 things. Are you irrelevant? Are you boring? And are you losing? Because if you're running that hat trick, you're gone.
Let me tell you where I would have been a good AD. All kidding aside. One, as contrary to popular belief, I can make decisions and not look back. But 2, I would know football wise. Now basketball, I'd have to hire somebody, under whatever to handle some sports that know things. I would know the quality of player. I would be able to look at the quality of players they're actually recruiting and see if there's a chance or not. I could know whether to be patient or not.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Are you close? Are you on the right track, and are you close?
Because I could tell that part.
Because look, man, you get to the middle of October and the stadium empties out. You got to start having some real conversations at that point.
You know what else bothers me about ADs, since we were on that conversation a little while ago? What happened to the ADs stepping in front and taking some fucking bullets for some coaches? They stopped taking bullets a long time ago.
That was a long time. That's over.
They stopped taking bullets.
That's over.
And that kind of is part of run some interference, kind of like head coaches do for coordinators.
I mean, if you're an AD and you believe in it, you got to step up and take the bullets, but understand that if the bullets keep coming, they're going to kill you too. I mean, so
it turns into self-preservation.
You got to decide. Do you believe in that guy? And again, that's my point. Because if you don't, what are you waiting on?
You know what they should start doing?
I mean, what's the point of going another year and a half for someone you don't believe in?
They should start tying ADs' contracts in with their football coaches.
Well, that's not happening.
I know. I'm saying that would change some things.
Oh, that would definitely change a lot of things.
That would change some things. That's all I got today, boss.
All right, we'll stop there. We'll be back on Thursday. We'll make our picks for the week.
You know what Thursday is?
It's Make It Rain Thursday.
Make it rain Thursday.
Is the Joker visiting on Thursday?
You never know, Neal. Gotham is a funny place.
Colorado's got a weird game on Saturday.
Who do they play?
Arizona State.
Oh, okay.
Kind of winnable. It's kind of personal.
It's probably personal this week.
Might be personal. He's probably trying to decide right now, is this personal or not? Because it might be.
Look,
kind of coin toss personal.
I know some of the people love the Joker bit, and it had its moments. But even I am getting tired of the Colorado stuff.
Oh, I thought you were going to ride this all season.
I probably will. But when is the story going to end, man? I mean, look, you're a mid-tier group of 5 team. Stop telling me about. Like 2 weeks ago, people were like,
they're going
to win the national championship.
The TV ratings say that they are not mid-tier anymore.
Oh, I'm watching. I think, look, seriously, I'm being dead serious, okay? You have a mid-tier. Let's just be honest, okay? Let's be honest for 1 minute. No joker.
I've been honest the whole show.
Okay? Let's be honest. No, I'm talking about no joker. Let's be dead honest about Colorado.
Okay.
All right, here's what you got. You have a mid-tier group of 5 team that's being ran by a wrestling promoter. It might as well be Ric Flair as the head coach of – Ric Flair can go be the head coach of Wake Forest tomorrow.
Okay.
And you would have the same results. Ric Flair should go apply to be the head football coach of Wake Forest.
God, the press conferences would be fun.
To be the man, you got to beat the man. Woo! And then pregame, just go like chop his players across the chest in postgame or whatever it is. I mean, like that's what you have a wrestling promoter as the head coach of a mid-tier group of 5 team.
Yeah.
That's what you have. Let's just call it what it is. Now, people tune in.
Now, he has assembled a pretty good staff.
Has a great staff.
Yeah.
Great staff.
And appears to be letting them coach.
Well, he has no choice.
Right.
He doesn't even know the rules of overtime.
That's okay.
So, I mean, he has to have people that can call plays because
okay.
He doesn't know if you got to go for 2 or not in the second overtime.
I mean, they played. Look, I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here, but they played USC okay.
And I'm 100% convinced that the reason he took the ball in overtime, the first overtime, was because he thought if you scored first, you won. He thought it was the NFL.
He probably did.
I'm 100% convinced at this point in time that that's what he did. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I hope. I said, like, all jokers aside, like I threw that in there. I kind of hope they just lose this week, so it's over. Like we can just go back to like watching. Like the Pac-12 is a good league. Let's go watch it for what it is.
All right. We've been brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, and zero sugar. No sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. So check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more.
Also, appreciate everybody in the Cooper Chevrolet chat, even the trolls today. Just remember, check out East Alabama's largest selection of used Chevy, Buick, and quality pre-owned today at Cooper Chevrolet Buick in Anniston, or shop online at cooperchevrolet.com.
See you Thursday.